This is not a joke. This is not a drill. Yes, everything that happened yesterday was real. Guys, during the Game Awards, we got a new gameplay trailer for the new Tenkaichi game, now known as Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Everybody was losing their collective minds when they saw that trailer, myself included, but because of all of the hype, there was actually a lot of things that people probably missed when they first saw the trailer. So in this video, we're gonna break absolutely everything down. The very first thing is the fact that all footage that was in this trailer from beginning all the way to the end was in-game footage, all of it. None of this was any type of pre-rendered cutscene, pre-rendered CGI, whatever the case may be. No, literally from beginning to end, everything we saw was in-game, which means that when this game releases, this is what we can truly experience. Side note, it's just crazy seeing how much Tenkaichi has evolved. Granted, we haven't had a mainline Tenkaichi game since the PS2, but just knowing what the PlayStation 5 and current gen consoles and of course PC are capable of doing now by just looking at this trailer is absolutely mind-blowing. The next point is that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero plays like true, authentic Tenkaichi. And the reason why this is so important is because, of course, we're all accustomed to the original 3 Tenkaichi games. However, the latest Tenkaichi game, granted, even though it's not a mainline game, but still, Dragon Ball Z Ultimate Tenkaichi was being shown off years ago and it looked really nice, but that was about it. The gameplay of the game was nowhere close to how Tenkaichi was. So to see a return to form is absolutely refreshing because this is gonna be the combat that we all know and love, but of course, being elevated to a completely new level. We also see that cinematic and chargeable attacks make a return. Now, what I mean by that is, in the original Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi games, there were 2 iterations of your super attacks. You had a cinematic version and you had a chargeable version. So in this trailer, we see both in action, with Vegeta using a super attack, Gallic Gun, but his super attack has a cinematic animation to it before he launches the attack. Whereas with Goku, after he vanishes out the way, responds with Kamehameha, but his doesn't have a cinematic, he just charges the move and then unleashes the attack. So again, small detail, but it is nice to see those type of attacks return. However, this point is completely new to the Tenkaichi series. It was present in Raging Blast, but it wasn't in the mainline Tenkaichi series, and I am so glad it's here. And that is, beam deflections are finally in the game. Thank the Lord. That was one of my favorite features of the Raging Blast series because it allowed you to not only not take damage from an attack, but to be able to immediately follow up against your opponent. The Tenkaichi series has never had that. I thought Tenkaichi 3 had it, but that game does not have that feature. So now knowing that we're able to deflect blasts, this is going to elevate the combat by default. Again, if Raging Blast is anything to go off of, it's going to open up the possibility of being able to follow up with a counterattack against your opponent. It is such a good feature, and it's been out of Dragon Ball games for a very, very long while. Literally, Xenoverse 1 and 2 don't even have that feature, and Dragon Ball Legends doesn't even have that feature either. So now seeing that in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has me extremely excited. Now, of course, it wouldn't be a Dragon Ball game without transformations, and from what we saw in the trailer, we saw that transformations are not only cinematic, but they're also unique as well. Now, what I mean by that is cinematic transformations have been a thing in the Tenkaichi series since Tenkaichi 2, because remember, Tenkaichi 1 didn't have any transformations. You were able to play as those transformed characters, but you had to select them. But in Tenkaichi 2, they added in-game transformations. But what I also mean by them being unique is the fact that the way how Goku turns into Super Saiyan Blue and the way how Vegeta turns into Super Saiyan Blue are all different, which is nice because it breathes new life and a bit of personality, if you will, into these characters being able to transform in their own respective way. and we can also translate that to other characters as well. So it's gonna be nice seeing all those various different transformations for these characters in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. This next point I'm about to say deserves all of the emphasis. Yes, I'm building up hype towards this because this feature has been out of Dragon Ball games for so long. As of this moment, there's only 2 modern Dragon Ball games that have this feature, and that's Dragon Ball Legends and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. And that is that beam struggles make a return. I am so happy. Y'all have no idea how hype beam struggles are. Y'all have no idea. Okay, well, correction. Probably OGs that played, like, you know, the original Tenkaichi, maybe like Raging Blast and all that stuff, understand how hype beam struggles are. I'm ready to destroy my control stick. I will eviscerate it, right? And if they do button mashing, I'm willing to break my buttons as well. Like, beam struggles is literally prime Tenkaichi. It is one of the staples of that game. It has been out of Dragon Ball games for so long. Again, the Xenoverse series doesn't even have it, but now they're back. I am extremely excited for this, man. And this next feature has been gone for equally just as long. Actually, I believe the last Dragon Ball game to have this specific feature was actually Dragon Ball FighterZ. And it's the fact that true stage destruction makes a return. Now, what do I mean by true stage destruction? I'm not talking about, you know, knocking a character into a building and the building falls over, or you shoot like a ki blast on the ground and there's a crater there and then over time it regenerates. No, none of that. What I'm talking about is you fire a massive blast onto the actual landscape and you completely change the landscape. Like, we see the example in the trailer with Frieza. I believe Frieza is using Supernova, and he drops it on Namek and destroys the planet and changes the landscape to destroy Namek. Things like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like, that type of thing has not been in Dragon Ball games for a very, very long time, excluding Dragon Ball FighterZ. So to see something like that return is nice, and hopefully there's permanent stage destruction where even before it gets completely destroyed, or even after it gets completely destroyed, if you fire ki blast on the ground, the craters actually stay, or if you fire a blast on the ground, the trail actually stays, or whatever the case may be. Things like that are possible with current gen technology, so hopefully that'll be a thing too. But at the very least, we do know that if there's a stage, it can be destroyed. And now we get to the biggest part about all of this: the characters. Yes, this is the Tenkaichi series, so we're expecting a massive roster with this game. Now, of course, we don't know all the characters that will be in, but we do know a good portion as of right now. And the characters that are confirmed to be in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero as of this moment are Base Goku, Super Saiyan Blue Goku, Base Vegeta, Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, Final Form Frieza, Broly Fury, which is from Dragon Ball Super, Super Saiyan Broly from Dragon Ball Super, Piccolo, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha, Super Saiyan Future Trunks fighting from Dragon Ball Z, Android 18, Perfect Cell, Hercule, Majin Buu, Super Saiyan Future Trunks from Dragon Ball Super, Bergamo, Android 17 Ranger, and Jiren. That is 20 characters confirmed as of right now, because remember, the Tenkaichi series does count each individual transformation as a different character. So that's 20 characters confirmed as of this moment. But you guys probably glanced over something. Maybe not, but some of you guys might have. And it's the fact that we have all of the antagonists from Dragon Ball Z all the way up to Dragon Ball Super Broly, -1. Technically 2, but -1 realistically, being Beerus representing Battle of Gods, and the technicality being Golden Frieza representing Resurrection F. But of course, we already know Frieza's in the game. We've seen Final Form Frieza. We know that Beerus will be in the game because Super Saiyan Blue is a thing, and Broly's also in the game. So there's no way that those characters are not going to be in. But just knowing that Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is going to cover all the way up to Dragon Ball Super Broly has me excited. Because remember, the Tenkaichi series is known for having a massive roster. And I truly do believe that at this point, it will have probably the largest roster that a Dragon Ball console game has ever had. Yes, even more than Xenoverse 2, and Xenoverse 2 has 131 characters. So yeah, I'm excited because the base roster is gonna be crazy, and if there's ever DLC, then those characters are gonna be crazy too. We also got a glimpse at some stages that will be in the game as well. Now, of course, this isn't anywhere near as big as the characters or actual features and whatnot, but at the very least, we have the confirmation of 3 stages, which are the Rocky area, Namek, and Destroyed Namek. Again, not too crazy, but at the very least, we got some stages. It would be nice to see others, especially in particular, maybe the Tournament of Power stage in the future. That would be really cool to see. But as of right now, 3 stages, but I'm sure that there is plenty more to come in the future. Now, this next point is probably going to cause a lot of contention, but much like when Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 was coming out, and of course, a video that I made concerning this game as well, I called it before. Sure enough, it got confirmed now. It's a no-brainer, but this game, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, is only going to be available for current gen hardware. What do I mean by current gen hardware? That means that it's only available for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. That's it. It's not coming to PS4, it is not coming to Xbox One X or S, and it's not coming to Nintendo Switch either. Nintendo Switch, I would say potentially, because they've done that constantly with Dragon Ball games where they release it on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC first, and then about a year later, they will release it on the Switch. So the Switch could be a potential maybe, but everything else though is set in stone for sure. It's only available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. So if you don't have any of those devices, you will not be able to play the game. So if you have the opportunity to upgrade, you should probably upgrade now. Now, we've all seen the trailer, and the trailer looks absolutely stunning, but the reason why the game looks so good is because for the first time ever, the Tenkaichi series is being ran in Unreal Engine. Yes, this game is an Unreal Engine game. Now, of course, we don't know if it's Unreal Engine 4 or 5, but either way though, regardless of if it was Unreal Engine 4 or 5, it still looks absolutely gorgeous. And again, the only true comparison we have for this game would be Tenkaichi 3, which those games were not ran on Unreal Engine. And granted, even though those games did look good at the time, obviously compared to now, standards are entirely different. And that's why I'm glad that this game looks the way it does, because it shows a true elevation of the Tenkaichi series. But of course, it wouldn't be a true elevation of the Tenkaichi series if the original developers weren't the ones making the game. Yes, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is being made by Spike Chunsoft. Now, of course, when they made the original Tenkaichi series, they were just Spike, but then obviously years later they merged with Chunsoft. But yes, Spike Chunsoft will be making the new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero game, which means that when it comes down to all of the techniques, the types of moves, like the destruction, all the stuff that we're accustomed to with the original 3 Tenkaichi games, these guys know how to go about creating all that because they're the original creators. So yes, I'm excited that Spike Chunsoft is working on this game, because when it comes down to Tenkaichi, there really is no other developer I would have work on the game than them. And with that, we have broken down absolutely everything that this trailer has to offer. Again, I am extremely excited. You guys already know that I'm hyped to cover this game, and we're going to be covering it from head to toe. From this moment onward, if there's any news, if there's a new trailer, or anything of the sort, I will be covering it on this channel alongside Dragon Ball Legends. So lots of Dragon Ball content to come for a very, very long while. And of course, when the game releases, I'll be doing full coverage as well. Full story mode, covering characters, unlocking characters, all of that good stuff, I got you covered. So if you're interested in Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, then make sure to hit that sub button and also hit that notification bell, because we're gonna be going crazy with it. But I do want to know what you guys thought about all of this in the comment section below. How excited are you guys for this game's release? How excited were you when you saw the gameplay trailer? Again, let me know all of that in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.